Hello beans, I'm alright. This is the mind, body-mind perspective that I'm populating at the moment. I thought that I might change hello beans, which I've used for years and years and years and years, and say hello me. Anyway, I'll put some stuff on the board. This is just a little bit of a simple basic chat. I don't know what I'm doing. I've got no plans per se. I'm just winging it. I am God as you are also, right? I think as God, I speak as God, and I act as God, being God by choice, all right? That's quite a bold statement. How can I say that? How can we be God? Okay? So, in the beginning there's only God. Everything is mind. Everything is thought. Thought is everything, regardless of what that thing may be, may appear to be, you think might be, that's what it is. On that premise, we can see that everything is just an awareness in the moment. Yeah, there's no past, there's no future. All we have is the experience of a perception of something that has already been experienced. So we're just recreating that perception. It's the same as if we look at a picture. We've looked at a picture before. If we see that same picture within, we're not travelling to the past, we're just recreating what we know. Okay, there is no future or past. There is only present, there is only the moment. So when I say I am God, I think as God, speak as God, and act as God, being God by choice. What I'm saying is that my choice in perception is as God. I acknowledge internally that I have entered this frame or form, this body-mind, this different perspective. Let's just jump into this. Look at this, look. If we think of a source, and then on surface awareness, this breakthrough, yeah, we've got all these tiny little variations, but this is an infinite number. It's just so huge. It's ridiculously big. It just, if that's there, it's going to like, and this isn't two-dimensional, this is three-dimensional. And then when we think of the this perception of a geometric solid that represents source as the central outpouring of awareness, which is constantly expanding as new awareness is developed, because the cause and effect, the cause is creation and the effect is infinite growth. It's just constantly ongoing. And this includes the perception of that awareness of self and the awareness of projected self with which other self can relate. Ultimately, what we come back to is what I said. This is number 3, by the way, being God number 3. It just comes back to that idea of walking through creation, which is the only heaven there is, and just, wow, it's creation, it's nice, There's nothing else to do except enjoy what is created. The issue, single issue, this is all an illusion, so none of this is real. But God, being as powerful as God is, as I am, and you are also, has the capacity in the mind to recreate that sensation in mind of a sensory experience. And I would lay a small challenge with you here. Yeah, one of the very a very big, and I'm going to talk about Facebook in a minute, just because I've seen a program about it, I'm thinking about it, and I just want to say something. Emotion drives feeling. Feeling is an acknowledgement, an acknowledgement of an experience, if you will. That experience is representative of a relation, which is the purpose of everything, whether it's, you know, China being stupid with this new unity law saying that you can't say anything or do anything that's not in keeping with government policy on unity, which basically means that if you say anything that's against it, then you're committing a crime, which is bullshit. It's absolute control on and eradication of free speech, unless you're prepared to face whatever the consequences, which from an international perspective is like, well, the population of China is dwindling, so it's like the rest of the world again. It's the same position ideologically as Israel. It's the same position ideologically as the revealed position of Trump and Republicans. But I mean, it's just greed, it's stupidity. Anyway, all an illusion, nothing is real. Everyone, remember I sowed this seed yesterday about one does not do this. All right, this is the way that people of a particular perception speak with a very specific reason and assumption in mind. Okay, so you could say I, or you could just say one. Yeah, I am. One does not. So it's interesting, isn't it? One does. Is that really a separation? Let's just come back to this being God element thing. So, as I've said, this is quite a bold statement. And how can I say that this is truth? Well, because if you change your perception to I am, then as far as your belief system is concerned, you've eradicated your association with your genealogical line, if you will, your family line, your hereditary, this body-mind, this bag, yeah, has created an illusion to say that this is Roy Thomas Dow. Well, it's just God observing self through the perception of a body-mind called Roy Thomas Dow. That's the ego referenced. And the ego referenced is born of influence at point of conception from an energetic coordination, which is 100% unique in every instance. Then we've got all the influences that are conceived and perceived to develop and nurture whoever you're choosing to perceive yourself as. And this is further influenced as you grow up and you're subject to love or fear. Yeah? And that then helps you develop into whatever you are, whether you're an out and out murderer or whether you're just a fucking innocent in the world. It doesn't matter. It's just an expression. The only thing you've got to do is to get back to being fearless so that you can be loveful. And that's in the sense of awareness. So if you see everything as love because you're God, then you're becoming loveful. Even if you're seeing someone chop the head off a child, it's still an expression of God. It's just that this perception, this spark all the way through, all the way through to the centre, yeah? Where were we? This little surface, beep. Yeah, let's just say it's as I like. Yeah, there you are, they're looking out. Yeah? And then all the way down here in the centre, yeah, everything's down through all your history, yeah, to become what you are in this moment, as perceived, whatever that is laid out, however true or untrue that may or may not be. Anyway, once you decide that that's just, oh, fire outside, excuse me, that's not me, then what am I? I am God, that's all I can be. Because that's all there is within. Yeah? Does this all make sense? You understanding this? Right. Know that everyone has interpreted, has perceived, whether that's self or self of other self. Everyone is loved, loving and lovable always. Why? Because there's only God. So all you've got to do is love yourself. Why wouldn't you love yourself? Well, I did this when I was a kid. I stole. I peeped at something. I did something that was wrong. Someone told me this in secret and I gabbed. It doesn't matter. That's then as the body, mind, ego. Unreferencing to God. Yeah? There's only God mind. So you can forgive yourself for everything and say, now I choose to exercise self-control as I walk through creation, heaven. I approach, I view, I observe God from God's perspective through this body-mind, now reclaimed as God, just with a particular label to help identify the frame, the form before you, in perception, found, in awareness, bang. Job done, that's all it is. It's not hard, is it? So this is why I say, the more that people just start thinking, well, yeah, I'm God. As bizarre as that is, as bizarre as it sounds, there is no other truth. When everything else is done, what about all the demons? What about the devil? In the beginning, there was God. There is only ever God. There only ever will be God. All other, everything, thought, word, action, perceived object, doesn't matter what it is. It's all within the mind of God. Hence, no need to fear be fearless. If you're fearless, you're just replacing fear with space for love. And that's something you embrace because you appreciate who you are. Why should I be afraid of this as God? I will just allow it to happen. But someone's going to come up to you and shoot you with a gun. Look, I don't really give a shit. I'm just God. I've never been shot in the head from the perspective as Roy Dow before. Bash. I've never been given $1 million as the perspective as Roy Dow before. Wow, now it's $1 billion and $1 trillion, gazillion. You know? Whatever it is, it just occurs. But you allow it. The difference is to seek. So seek. To manifest. This is quite popular at the moment, isn't it? Seek. Manifestation. I'm awfully tempted myself, you know, just for the crack. But the truth is, any form of manifestation here ultimately is a sign of lack. As God, there is no such thing as lack. Obviously, separation, there can't be separation. So these are things you need to play with in the mind, in the sense of this will come to me in the form of a complete understanding. Now, whenever. It's not a problem. I just walk forward, absorbing all this, knowing that every moment I have a choice. Facebook's single biggest defense. Yeah, and I'm not saying this is a defense, because there's, you know, they talk about free speech, blah, 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 blah. Then I could just cite the responsibility of self in every instance to do the right thing from a loving perspective, from the perspective of God. Because if we all did that, wow, wouldn't this be a rocking fucking heaven? You know what I mean? My kind of place. Anyway, I can't think of anything else to say, so I'm going to bugger off. Yeah, the new unity law from China is absolute crap. It's bollocks. It's the biggest clampdown on their perception of everyone else's opportunity for free speech. But I'm a sovereign, but I'm looking at that word. I'm a sovereign being. I'm God, aren't I? And then you're God, though, making these silly rules based on fear. What happens if people don't comply? Oh my God, I'm going to shit my pants.